Hi, I'm Chad Blank.
Hi, I'm Mary Tillman.
And I'm Dan Tillman, and we are Team Tillman.
This week on Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman, we're answering the common questions we get from our sellers.
And if for any reason we do not actually talk about the question you have, always feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you. You know, we frequently hear that question. Typically, it was from our 55 plus audience that, you know, they were going to downsize or whatever, moved, and they wanted to make sure they have a secure audience. But our inventory is so low now, we hear this from everybody. I don't want to be homeless. I'm afraid if I sell my house, I won't be able to find another one. So we do have some solutions for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about 4 of the most common ones. Some of these solutions I have may fit your situation, some may not, but there are several things we can do. So let me just kind of walk you through a few of those things that we have seen done and have done ourselves in the past. The first one would be a short-term rental. You could go out, you could rent a house, sell your house first, rent a house. That give you plenty of time to look and not have to compromise and just take something so you wouldn't feel homeless. So the pro to that, you know, is that it gives you a little bit more flexibility and kind of takes that stress away, that timeline stress away. So the con to that though is if you do a month to month, if you actually do a short-term rental, they can get a little bit costly. Month to month usually runs about $300 to $400 a month more than a lease would. You also could lock yourself into a 12-month lease. That would get the rent down a little bit, but then again, if you 4 or 5 months into it and you found a house, you know, you may have to buy out that lease. We do have some solutions on how to work with a landlord if you are in a lease. So we got some tricks too, or suggestions to help you with your communications with the landlord if you ever get in a situation like this. But it certainly would help if you needed to sell your house first. The second thing that you could do is put what's called a reverse contingency on your purchase agreement. What a reverse contingency is, it just states that seller does not want to close until they have secured another house. And the definition of secure is to find and have a purchase agreement accepted. So now you have a place to go. It's really a very good solution, especially if you can find a house quite quickly. So that would be the pro of it. The con would be if you are having a terrible time finding a house and it takes, you know, 4 or 5 months. Because it is a contingency, the buyer would have a right to find another house, or if they did find another house, they certainly could back out of the contingency. So there again, it would work great if you could secure a house probably in 4 to 8 weeks, find one and secure it. But you know, if it's something that goes on, it may not work. The third thing you can do, and we do this quite frequently to tell you the truth, is a bridge loan. A bridge loan is very similar to maybe a second mortgage on your home or a line of credit off your home. It's interest only, but it's only meant to be very short term. It kind of bridges, you know, your problem. So if people have a lot of equity in their home, or if they have their home completely paid off, a bridge loan would allow you to purchase a home first, then sell your home. We have actually had people apply for bridge loans. They get the bridge loan, they go out and purchase the home. Their closing date is out there a little ways, and they put their house on the market. It sells immediately, and they never even needed to use that bridge loan. We've actually had that happen. But there is some value in that peace of mind of not losing sleep at night going, you know, I'm moving in with my kids, or my kids saying I'm moving in with my parents. So the bridge loan certainly is a solution. So that's the pro. I think the biggest con to that is you would have to have quite a bit of equity in your home, or you would have to have your home paid off. Then there's a fourth solution. A lot of people don't really realize that this solution is available to them. You could rent with the option to buy, and I know you know that's out there, but what you may not know is that there is a program called Home Partners of America. And realtors will work with our partner with Home Partners, and you can actually rent homes that are for sale and are listed on the MLS. So you can keep looking at homes just like you have been, and you may say, yeah, I really like this house. If yours, but you haven't put yours on the market yet. If you work with a realtor that partners with Home Partners, you can qualify for renting it. Home Partners will actually purchase the home and they'll rent it back to you. You can live into it for up to 5 years, and then you can purchase it. You could purchase it after the first year if you want, the second, third, or fourth, fifth. You don't even have to purchase it. So after a year or two, you certainly could move on to a different home if you found one that you like better. So it's very, very flexible, great program. Chad Blank, who is part of Team Tillman, is a realtor that does partner with Home Partners of America and would love to help you find a home that way if it works for you. I would say the con to that is that you're going to get locked into a 12-month lease. You will not have the flexibility of a month-to-month. So I don't think it's a huge con, because most people are probably going to look for a home that they really love and maybe would like to purchase. And if that's the case, you're just getting in it first and then selling your home. So there's 4 that we typically do. There's many more, and each solution isn't for everybody, but we'd love to meet with you, see how we can help you, and give you a custom solution so you can move forward with the sale of your home.
We actually love the nosy neighbors, and let me tell you why. You may think you don't want people coming through, going through your stuff, and the only reason why they're there is to judge you in the wallpaper selection or something along those lines. That's actually not why we want the nosy neighbors. The reason why we love having neighbors come through is 1, they know the neighborhood extremely well, and 2, your neighbors have friends, and their friends have friends. And so it's very possible that your nosy neighbor may know somebody who's looking to buy a house. They know the neighborhood, they know the neighbors, so they might be a great option to help us find somebody to come and purchase your house. We actually even go a step further sometimes, and we actually go around and invite the neighbors over to a special nosy neighbors open house just to bring the neighbors in, because it's so powerful to bring the neighbors in, to have them potentially bring in a potential buyer.
This question we deal with frequently. You know, you don't really have to remodel your home if you're thinking of selling. I look at the comparables. I'll run them to see homes that are similar in yours that have recently sold, neighbor in your neighborhood, to find out some strong comparables, and then I look at the condition and you know, see what we come up with a price. Next, I will make recommendations that are very simple updates, perhaps that will pay off when you sell. And those are some that maybe paint, maybe some decluttering, update some lighting, which is always very simple. And most of all, a deep cleaning makes the home really look good and well cared for, and that'll go a long way with a lot of buyers. So the other thing, another part of that is mechanicals. You know, your furnace, water heater, your air conditioning unit, even all your appliances. You know, if they're older, you know, and people are kind of questioning whether to purchase a house or not, we can put on a home warranty on your home, which will fix them in the event that they break down or need to be replaced. And really how that works, the home warranty is about $550 to $600. It kicks in the date of closing. It's good for a year. And Team Tillman, we offer a $1,000 seller bonus, so you can apply a portion of that $1,000 towards a home warranty. And if it's not too dated, and the buyers may want to say, well, it's pretty good condition, but we'd still like to put on a home warranty, we can put that on there for you. Another way we are successful with homes that are being updated is to provide some buyers some suggestions. What you can do, especially note that the cupboards, for example, are solid, but yet maybe just a simple paint. Maybe some new door fronts. Maybe some hardware. Maybe countertops and flooring. Would really, maybe just simple updates would really dress it up that wouldn't break the bank and keep you on budget. If a buyer loves the neighborhood and the floor plan and the sale price, then we can firsthand some simple updates, like I said, to make it more modern. And buyers love the visuals, so we leave those examples there to actually help them see what they can do with that. We also help you with the curb appeal. It is in a very, very important area because the first impression the buyer has when they arrive at the home. And believe me, we have people that drive up and they'll look at it and they'll look at us and say, let's keep going. It just does not have any appeal. They are not interested in seeing what's inside the house. So again, I offer some simple low-cost suggestions that can help perk up the front of your home if you need to. Finally, if you're not handy, and believe me, a lot of us aren't, we run across some maybe more serious concerns, and you still want the home, but you want to address those. We have a lot of resources that we work with, which we frequently call on, and they're very, very good, and they'll take care of the situation at hand. And if for some reason we have complaints, 2 or 3 of them, they're off of our list. And I'm here to make sure that you're successful and that all the referrals that we use are an extension of Team Tillman.
Yes, you can sell your house as is. There is actually an as-is addendum that is attached to the purchase agreement. Most people want to sell as is because they don't want to repair an item or they think their home is in really bad shape. But mostly they're overwhelmed with the thought of whatever, and you can fill in the whatever. So before you go down that road of what is, let's talk a little bit about what does that actually mean. The as-is addendum means the house is being sold in the condition it currently is. And you go, exactly, that's what I want to do. But the as-is addendum kicks in at closing, not before closing. So a buyer can, and usually will, do an inspection. And that same buyer can probably negotiate the sale price. Once the house closes, then the as-is addendum kicks in and the buyer cannot demand additional repairs for things he or she was not aware of. As-is kind of gives the impression, though, that there are invisible concerns, which means investors or buyers can see number signs. And guess what typically happens then? A price reduction. We see as-is homes typically be reduced by 20 to 30%. Think about it. If you have a home that you want to put on the market and your list price, let's say, is $250,000, a 30% reduction is $75,000. That's a lot of money if it's just a little bit outdated. You need a furnace, you need maybe a new roof. There's a lot of updating you could do for $75,000, and actually that would probably bring the value above the $250,000. As is only reduces the price, but you know what else it does? It scares buyers away. As a realtor, it's my job to get as many interested buyers in your home. The as-is addendum will reduce that foot traffic. So now that I said all those things about the as-is, there's a couple things I want you to think about before you list your home as is, okay? First, Can your house be repaired for less than 15% of the sale price? If you put that 15% into your house, will it increase the value beyond that $250,000 mark? Next, if you're overwhelmed with the condition of your home, do you know somebody who could help you kind of process the costs, the updates, the home value? Because it just may not be quite as bad as you think. Another thing, can you afford to take a 30% sales price reduction, a $75,000? How is that going to impact your future plans? Are you going to have to adjust your quality of life now? And finally, think about this. If you did not sell your home as is, you just put it on the market for sale without the as is addendum, would you get more money for your home? These are all really critical things to consider. If you're thinking of selling your home as is, let one of the members of Team Tillman help you kind of work through the process so you don't end up reducing the sale price more than you need to. Remember, there are also other very critical things that could increase the value of your home. For instance, the location, the school district, do you have acreage? Are you on a lake, close to a pond, things like that. So don't be too critical of the handful of things that overwhelm you. Just kind of find the way to process it through to get the most money for your home.
You know, that's a great question, and there's a lot of confusion around that. So we try to explain to our sellers that anything that is physically attached to the wall stays with the house, or physically attached to the house stays with the house. So for example, obviously your cabinets are going to stay with the house. Your lighting fixtures stay with the house. That means even like any chandeliers or higher end lighting that you have will stay with the house. We have some clients who have maybe their grandmother's chandelier hanging over their dining room table. In situations like that, we recommend that you remove that and replace it with a new light prior to any photos being taken. Let's say you have a TV mounted on the wall. You can take the TV with you, but the wall mount should stay on the wall. Let's say you installed some surround sound and that's in the ceiling or on the wall. That comes with the house unless you remove it prior to us listing it. Now it's important if you do remove anything from the wall to the ceiling to make sure you touch up the holes, make sure it matches with the rest of the house so it looks great. Now what else also stays with the house? Usually your appliances. So like your fridge, your range, microwave, dishwasher, that type of stuff. The stuff that's in the kitchen generally will stay. Now let's say you have an extra chest freezer or another freezer or fridge maybe in the garage or in the basement. That's something that if you want to stay with the house, you can. If you don't want to stay with the house, make sure you have that discussion with your realtor. Also, generally your washer and dryer will stay with the house too. We have some clients who have personally bought a brand new washer and dryer, loved it, and said they're taking it with them. That is something we definitely need to disclose when we put the house on the market, so make sure you have those conversations with your realtor.
Not too often, but once in a while, we have sellers that felt it was important to have an inspection done prior to listing their home. One of the main reasons they feel the buyers would appreciate knowing the house is in good condition, and it would save the buyer money because it would not have to do an inspection themselves. A typical inspection runs around $400. And most of all of these cases, the buyer still performs their own inspection and presented some inspection concerns, but the list was definitely less, reassuring the buyer that their new home was well cared for. Also, a few cities require a TISH report, or better known as point of sale report. The cities require a city certified inspector to come over and look at the city code issues of the home, which such as handrails, smoke detectors, electrical and plumbing issues, etc. The city inspection is not as detailed as the buyer inspection, nor does it replace the buyer inspection, but is required inspection, and any items that are flagged need to be repaired or replaced by the seller. This city inspection needs to be completed and signed off in order to sell your home. The cost is typically between $150 to $250. Team Tillman feels there is a benefit in addressing some inspection concerns prior to listing. However, in most cases, sellers are not aware of those issues unless they too do an inspection, but you really don't want to pay out that kind of money. That's why Team Tillman offers a pre-home inspection, and there are a dozen or more items typically show up on an inspection report. For example, smoke detectors older than 10 years, incorrect dryer venting, broken window seals, or even damaged screens, maybe shut-off valves, and the list goes on and on. As part of normal service, we actually do a walkthrough and identify those common items. Some of the items you may be able to fix yourself. If not, we provide resources to get you those items repaired quickly and by qualified trade professionals. There will always be a few items on your buyer inspection list, but there is a huge advantage of being proactive in this area. First, you are positioning yourself to have fewer inspection items, which may save you some money in the negotiations during the inspection contingency period. Next, you will give a buyer the reassurance that the house was well cared for. And finally, being proactive will give you time to concentrate and prepare for your own move to your new home versus consumed with an inspection list and reducing your sale price. We have helped many sellers be successful in their home sale, so reach out to us. Team Tillman would love to help you be successful selling your next home as well. Thanks for watching Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman.
We hope we got all of your questions answered.
And if we didn't answer your question or would like to set up a meeting with any one of us, as always, it's a no pressure situation. Feel free to reach out to us either through the messenger button below. You can find us on Facebook at Team Tillman MN, or you can go online at teamtillmanmn.com. There you'll be able to find a quick bio of all of us. There's a form there you can fill out to reach out to us, as well as find our emails and phone numbers.
Look for us next week for another Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman.